Have you ever broken off a relationship with someone you really loved because their family was absolutely nuts? I've been dating my fiancé for 4 years, and engaged for 1, but I recently found out he's been keeping a secret. I didn't meet his mother until we got engaged, despite knowing every single other family member in his family. But when I met her the week of my engagement, I quickly realized why. When she first saw me, her smile dropped so quickly, and she must have taken 15 minutes just to stare at me. After squirming the entire time, the only thing she said was that she was pleasantly surprised her son would marry a big girl for his first wife. I had to do a double take at that comment because even though I had some body rolls, his mother was so big that the mere size of her cheeks covered her eyes, eliminating any chance of making eye contact. Although I was immediately put off by her when she said that, I tried to be as kind to her as possible. It was all a waste of time, though, because she spent the entire night trying to show off her perfect relationship with my fiancé. She even sat on his lap and tried to feed him some oatmeal as if he were a sick Victorian child. However, to my fiancé's credit, once I told him that I thought that was beyond weird, it never happened again. I tried to include her in wedding dress shopping after I met her so we could get in some bonding time, but when we got there, she refused to look at any dresses that I liked, insisting that we chose a dress that was flattering for both of us. I was terrified she was going to make me match with her on my wedding day, and she confirmed it when she kept joking that maybe I could let her borrow it after we got married, and it terrified me. In the next few weeks after we went wedding dress shopping, I had a gut feeling that she'd do something with my wedding dress, so I joined the Obby Weight Loss Facebook community and started using Obby Collagenic Elite and lost as much weight as possible so that she couldn't switch our dresses at the last minute. When she saw my weight loss, she started having a hissy fit in front of us, complaining that I was trying to show her up on her special day. She begged me to tell her what I used to lose weight, but I refused to tell her it was Obby Collagenic Elite because I didn't want her to try to mimic me. She even got to the point of sobbing until I told her something she could focus on, our destination wedding. She became hysterical about it, borderline whining about how it was so inconvenient for her. I try to limit her exposure to my wedding planning, though when I do this, she complains to my fiancé behind my back about how she's being excluded. She came over one day to see our new house, but instead offered the following criticisms. She hates my engagement ring. It's far too extravagant, and there are children starving in Africa, and people die for these rocks. It's a moissanite. Our house is an extravagant display of wealth and just isn't us. It's a townhouse that we gotta steal on. I'm getting fat. Need to watch the calories so I can fit into my dress. Mind you, I was the skinniest I'd ever been since taking Obby Collagenic Elite. Future mother-in-law, meanwhile, is bragging about her diet and how chic and slenderizing her mother of the bride dress is. This delightful conversation was interrupted by my fiancé asking me to help him put a bed in the spare guest room together, so I assumed my mother-in-law would be fine on her own because she is a grown adult, but I heard a suspicious grunt from a different room 40 minutes later. I was convinced she might have fell or gotten hurt in some way, so my husband and I rushed to where she was and I nearly took off my earrings and fought when I saw her. My future mother-in-law was struggling to yank my dress over her head but was freaking stuck. I blurted out, "What the hell?" And she immediately started stammering, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh god." At that point, my number one concern was her tearing the sheer backing of my dress, so I rushed over to help her. It was all for nothing as she managed to scratch her way through the back of the dress and completely destroy the sheer material. She burst the side zipper of the dress and got a dirty footprint on the train. She wasn't even wearing underwear underneath the dress, so when she finally got out of the dress I was immediately flashed. I tried my hardest to keep my cool, but seeing that was my last straw, so I blew up on her, asking what the hell she was thinking. She looked smug and said that she was just trying to make sure the dress would fit me because if the dress fit her, then it would fit me, too. If it didn't fit her, then I obviously had some work to do. Never mind that I just had my final fitting, and it fit like a glove. I told her that she needed to get the hell out of my house, and when my husband went to try to calm me down, I told him he needed to get her out of my house before I beat the crap out of her. She refused to leave, but when I reached to get my bat, she practically ran out of the house. She started spamming my phone as soon as I left, accusing me of elder abuse because I was threatening to hit her, but I just sent her a picture of the bill for the dress and said if she didn't pay up, I'd sue her. As expected, she started to blow up my husband's phone, begging him to defend her from his scary fat wife. I wasn't fat like her, so I wasn't even fazed. I told him he had a choice: ban her from our wedding and our life, or lose your wife. He looked at me like I was crazy and told me I couldn't possibly make him choose between his soulmate and his family. I told him it was an easy choice, but he was free to take his time. I packed my bags and went to stay with my sisters for a few days, so he could make his choice. In the meantime, instead of an apology, she's lecturing me on spending so much money on a wedding dress, and clearly, the trouble she had getting into. The dress was assigned to get something less SLT because I was just going to look like a WH re at the altar.